Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
The Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation alongside with Environmental Protection Agency launched this year Climate Change and Green Economic Week slated for 27th to 31st March 2023. In Ghana, Climate Change and Green Economic Week, which was first celebrated in the year 2016 as part of the implementation of the National Climate Change and Green Economic Learning Strategy to seek support of the general public to build up and maintaining the momentum
Environmental Protection
of climate
Agency
education
and the
in
Ministry
Ghana.
of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation would like to welcome you to what I hope is going to be one of the interesting climate change experiences of your life. The Ministry, in collaboration with DPA, as said, are joining hands with thousands of Ghanaians and global community to celebrate Climate Change Week, slated from 27th to 31st of March 2023. Climate change is one of the biggest threats to livelihoods and economy of Ghana, with wide-ranging effects like destructive floods, drying of rivers, food crisis, climate-induced diseases, bushfire, etc. They are witnessed every year due to increased warming, and changes in rainfall patterns. It is a full week of climate-related events, which will focus on creating awareness and improving understanding of climate change and green economy of the Ghanaian populace. It is also purposed to showcase the vulnerability of Ghana on climate change impacts to the global community. Within the next couple of weeks, the CCNGEW will create awareness to bring to attention of the general public across Ghana the effects of climate change and the need to reduce impacts on our livelihoods. Mr. Chairman, here it is, Minister. To date, Mesti and EPA has been of the week under guidance of your good self, Mr. Minister. On the program of the CC and GEW, there will be climate change awareness to the general public by sector ministers, sector experts, religious-based bodies, leadership, development partners, academia, private sector, civil society organization on the need to reduce impacts of climate change on the overall livelihoods of the people of Ghana. There will also be a series of technical discussion on the national efforts to deal with climate change impacts. The outcomes are expected to inform society on our day-to-day activities towards the environment and our lifestyle in general. And here one can talk about attitudinal change. Again, on Monday and Friday, that's 27th and 31st, a week before the Climate Change Week, have been slated for climate change education and public awareness events with the media. These days have been set aside to project climate change impacts on our livelihoods on radio, television, and in the print media. The national climate action at the national scale will showcase. It is also the occasion to raise the climate profile within government by highlighting Ghana's nationally determined contributions, of which His Excellency the President appended his signature some 2 years ago, showcasing ground level actions and pitching possible areas of partnership with the private sector and the development partners. It will also be used to demonstrate Ghana's commitment to achieving the SDGs. This means that development partners, government institutions, religious leaders, CSOs, the academia, and the private sectors are all expected to play a major role. Or they will want to be part of the week should be able to do so. Therefore, the CC and GEW will involve a mix of events with the involvement of state and non-state actors. The purpose of this slide is to inform your organizations and the entire Ghanaian citizen to participate on the CC and GEW and to take advantage of the opportunities that the climate change tends to offer. It is also important to share, Mr. Minister, this information to friends, other institutions and partners to take full potential of the week's events. Furthermore, you are also requested to join hands with us to educate the Ghanaian society on climate change and green economy on your own institutional perspectives. And we do know that you have the capacity to do that. Interested persons can also create climate change songs, drawings, write-ups, and what have you. And this is an invitation to the arts and culture industry.
I'm therefore requesting all the media stations to collaborate with the ministry / EPA to use their platform to educate the general public on climate change and green economy. Session from Kwame Nkrumah Circle to Ifua Sutherland Park, that's from 7 to 1 o'clock. With the thereby to educate them, the people of causes, impacts, and national actions on climate change. On day 3, that's the Wednesday, the 29th, we will have an opening ceremony with youth dialogue, and which will comprise a video conference with Ghana and Switzerland, and the National Symposium and Exhibition at the National Theatre from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. On Thursday, 30th of March, 2023, of course, we have a community thereby with traditional leaders, schools, civil society, football stars, and parliamentarians in selected constituencies. And then on day 5, that's the Friday the 31st, a grand thereby and awards night at the International Conference Center from 5 to 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, the ministry looks forward to partnering with you to make the 2023 Climate Change and Green Economy Week a success. I also wish to thank the UNITA. It has a lot of capital and then technology. With technology, we can argue that historically was based on civilization. At any epoch in time, a certain group of people then have the power of that technology. Because of our sophistry, we've created things like intellectual property rights and whatnot. I do not say that we should not reward creativity. Technology available to those people whose ancestors maybe would have invented maybe the wheel on which everything was built on. These are the moral things that I'm referring to. But here we are. The paradox is that it's like the global north needs us to help them, and they also need us to get our act together. But I'm here today to launch this major stakeholders environment movement, so to speak, on behalf of the government. And of course, the subject is climate change and green economy, which week has been slated for the 27th to the 31st of March this year, and it will be launched in Mesti here. The Climate Change and Green Economy Week was first celebrated in Ghana in 2016 as part of the implementation of the National Climate Change and Green Economy Learning Strategy. And this year, the week-long climate event will bring together a wide range of public and private sector actors across Ghana and the rest of the world. This ministry stands ready to seek support of the general public to build up and maintain the momentum of climate education and public awareness on climate change after the launch. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change is happening and has affected key sensitive sectors of our national economy and are affecting our livelihoods at the community and the personal levels. It remains an indispensable risk to all facets of Ghana's development, and indeed, in particular, water, agriculture, infrastructure, and energy suffer the biggest brunt of climate change effects. The weather has increasingly become erratic and more warmer than in the past, and rainfalls are increasing, becoming, like I said, also erratic. And studies have unanimously revealed that the future changes are likely to get even more intense and capricious. The changes in the climate are felt on daily basis. Farmers like me across the country, we are complaining that we cannot no longer rely on the weather to plan, when to plant, and sometimes even when to harvest. I have referred in my opening remarks. And in the effort to better our lives, for example, we cut down trees and we do illegal mining, which leads to deforestation. We have copious emissions from vehicles and industries, and then burning of our savannas and forests. And all this lead to release of greenhouse gases that cause this climate change. At the end of it all these things culminate in habitat loss and loss of diversity, and then of course uh, the waste that we also generate leads to pollution in marine pollution in river bodies, and then terrestrial pollution. Currently we are dealing with the loss of plastics, for which mount a very vigorous action.
Causes impact, and how, if you look at this year theme, how it's affecting our livelihood. So this is the first day what we are going to do. The second day, which is the Tuesday, we are having a procession with placards. So we start the procession from Circle, I'm talking about Kwame Nkrumah Circle, to Equus Island Park. And at the end, we'll have a deba where our ministers will actually brief up on climate change issues to the general population.
And education when it comes to climate change effects and how to mitigate and adapt to it. So, Environmental Protection Agency, in conjunction with our mother ministry, that's Mesti, we put up some programs just as been outlined. And the sector minister, under the marching orders of the president, have launched it today. So we expect partners, including the media, the broadcasting, whatever, to join hands with us so we can reach out to every person within the country. We want as many people to understand and appreciate what climate change really is and what impacts it has on our livelihoods, and how can we, in our own simplistic ways of doing things, either manufacturing, industry, household activities, farming, or broadcasting, what can we do, or what should we do in order to reduce the footprint, carbon footprint, and then also adapt positively towards climate change effects, and more so mitigation actions that we can do. So by and large, it's quite an elaborate plan, which I do not have the day-by-day activities of it, but then my colleagues who are running and coordinating the activities will send notice to you, the media, so the general public can also be educated and informed adequately, and for all of us to participate.
Thank you for watching Nation One TV. Kindly subscribe for more news updates.